I need to react to this. But anyway, hey, what's up, everyone? Well, today we're gonna react to this. This is my first time reacting to Coach Creg, and at least 100% of this, 100% of what he's saying right here, I do agree. He said something about just because your body's addicted to cigarettes doesn't mean you have to keep on doing it. You can quit. That's true. I agree on that.
I'm the average weight for women in America. Average weight.
Let me go back. That woman in the white jacket right there. The way she said that she'd rather be something than she said it like this. She said, "I'd rather be skinny than be fat." I'm like, oh my spirit is like, oh my goodness.
Average weight for women in America. Average weight of a woman in America? What are you talking about? See that voice? Where did that come from?
I can basically feel Coach Craig's pain. I can feel his
video
pain.
Is being fat and or skinny a choice? Well, they've gathered a group of people, 8 individuals, some very much more obese, others extremely skinny, guys 6'5", 143 pounds. And they've asked them a variety of questions. And so we're going to go over the questions, see how delusional are some of these individuals, and see, do some of them make sense? Let's get right into it. So first things first, I personally believe that...
You see, what he doesn't know is, not only I'm a thrash metal sprinter. Well, my YouTube channel is called Rock and Roll Sprinter 2.0. But you may be asking yourself, why did they change your YouTube channel name to Thrash Metal Sprinter? Well, I thought about changing it, but when you put Rock and Roll Sprinter 2.0, when my YouTube channel has rock and roll title in it, it means all music, all rock and roll bands. Like, I'm talking about just regular rock and roll, hard rock, metal, you name it. But there's 3 genres I stay away from. And that is black metal, deathcore. I don't like these three genres. I just don't like the way they stand for. That's the thing. I just don't like the way they stand for. But this guy, Coach Creg right here, he makes some good sense. And 100% of what he's saying, I do agree.
Obesity and or being skinny is a choice. And the reason for that is because...
I agree on that too. Being obesity or being skinny, whatever it is a choice. See, I made a choice between it's either to run fast and then to be cool and have all the success I ever wanted. Or I could run slow and be cute, and then girls be all call pet me, all you so cute, and then people laugh at me, all that stuff. I chose to be fast on the other hand. I chose success over being poor. So, and then my way to success, which I don't give a crap about money because I'm not Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. The reason why I want to run track and to be a heavy metal singer, the reason why I want to be the fastest man and the hardest puncher in heavy metal history, it's been happening. Even though I hadn't run track yet, haven't joined the Diamond League yet. But I've gotten faster ever since I started training, doing sprint training at 16 years old, and I got way faster from 16 years old to 20 years old, which now that I'm 20 years old, I'm seeing it getting faster and faster and faster. It's like as I get older, I get faster and faster. Like I said, I chose speed over snail. But there's 100% what he's saying. I agree.
Because I think that it's calories in, calories out. If you choose to eat too much and to surplus for long enough, of course you're going to become morbidly obese. On the other hand, if you hardly eat anything, you don't eat enough, of course you're going to become skinny. So ultimately, the choice is yours. And of course, there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Right.
Let's see what they say.
Being fat or skinny is a choice.
Goodness.
It's only 37%.
63 people say no. Oh no.
People agree with me, about 1 in 3, and so the majority of people, they disagree with me. Shocking. Shocker. As if we expected them to agree with logic. I mean, is it even debatable? But let's listen to their answers.
I don't think that every factor is, but I do think a majority of it is. And in most cases, for most people, being skinny or being fat is about...
This is how AG1 works to upgrade your health routine. By
willpower.
Abso-friggin-lutely. If you have strong enough willpower and you just don't eat, you're going to lose weight. And on the other extent, if you eat too much, you're going to gain weight. And so the reality is this, and people who are overweight, they don't want to believe this. They don't want to listen to this because it's easier to say, oh no, it's genetics, it's this, it's that. If you don't eat, you're going to lose weight. Let me repeat this. If you don't eat, you're losing weight. It's not possible to become morbidly obese without eating. And so if you are in fact overweight and or obese, you had that choice. You had the choice to not eat or to eat. I get it. You're hungry. You want to eat. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being obese, but I'm saying it is in fact a choice. Just like if I have really pale skin, I'm an albino. Oh, you have no choice. You can't get a sunburn. Yeah, you could stay inside. You could never go outside ever. You could never expose yourself to UV light, and so you'd never get a sunburn. Yeah, it's harder. If you go outside, you're burning, but it is, in fact, a choice.
I know what I do with my body. I know what I put into it day in and day out. I choose not to eat some days. I choose, how I want to look.
And so clearly, if he ate more, he would be bigger. But he chooses this in the same way that if you're 400 or perhaps 600 pounds, you choose to eat those foods. You're not being forced to eat. It's not something you have to do. You are choosing to do it. And so whether or not you're overly thin, you're not eating enough, perhaps you have an ED, or if you're overly heavy, you're eating too much, it is ultimately your choice.
I understand that there's genetics that could cause you to want to eat more, but even with the genetics that cause you to want to eat more, the same solution is calories in, calories out.
And there you have it. It's calories in, calories out. She couldn't have said any better. If you don't agree with this, I really don't know what to say.
I grew up in a very poor home, so where my mom couldn't provide the meals that she could healthily. Once it reached a point where I was old enough to try to make my own choices, I made all of the wrong choices. I wasn't eating.
Notice, when I was to a point where I was old enough to make all my own choices, I made all the wrong choices. Obesity is a choice. She just outright proved herself wrong. Obesity is a choice. She made all the wrong choices.
And I was only eating grapes and lettuce, and that was mainly because I was in a sport, and that sport just worked me out so hard.
Do you really think all she ate was grapes and lettuce?
Maybe they should work you out hard. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but yeah.
And it caused her to gain weight. Does she have some kind of magic metabolism where she can get extra calories from lettuce and grapes? Let me tell you this. I don't care what you eat. I don't care if it's pizza, if it's donuts, if it's candies. If you're eating fewer calories than you burn off, you're going to lose weight. And you're not gaining weight by eating a bunch of freaking grapes and lettuce. Well, maybe the grapes if you're eating that in addition to something else. But there's no way this woman gained all this extra weight from eating grapes and lettuce. Really.
It was to the point where I just was scared to eat. I didn't like it. I would only drink water.
Really, I then only drank water, and look at me right now. I'm clearly morbidly obese. Do you really think this is possible? She is delusional. She's convinced herself that there's no way she can lose weight. Even when she only ate lettuce, perhaps some grapes on the top, she still lost weight. And when she only drank water...
Maybe she could be eating a lot of grapes and lettuce. Maybe that's what it is. She's eating a lot of it. She's gaining weight from that. Maybe that's what it is.
It still didn't work. It's her genetics.
When you were eating grapes and lettuce, were you thin?
I was as thin as I could be.
Were you still big, though?
I was still big.
She is delusional. She's preying on the fact that people will have an appeal to sympathy. Oh, poor her. She grew up and her parents mid-fed her, and it's her genetics or her environment, and she just can't lose weight. Even though she was only eating lettuce and grapes and sometimes just water, she still couldn't be skinny. Poor her. Obesity, it's not a choice. For her, it wasn't a choice. Really?
I was supposed to get blood tested probably when I was
I'm
very young,
it's
and I never
100%
did.
of
And
it's
they
true.
had mentioned that it could have been because of my weight and how that connects with my thyroid.
And listen, even if you have an underactive thyroid, and even if you don't get medication for it, you can't afford it, whatever reason, you can still lose weight. I understand it's more difficult. You have an underactive thyroid. You have a slow metabolism. I get it. It makes it harder. But by saying, oh, I have this problem, I have this disease, I have this or that, I can't do this, I can't do that, you're taking away your own power to lose weight, and you know you can do it. They asked her, do you think you can lose weight? Oh, I don't. You need to say, yes, I know that I can. Obesity is a choice, and I am going to choose to do something about it.
It's a choice to do the requisite steps. It's a choice to
It
go
is.
grocery shopping
Damn
instead
right
of
it
going
is.
to fast food when it's easy.
Exactly. This lady in the red dress, she's making so much sense.
I know.
Listen to her. She knows what she's talking about.
You should be able to have a balance. You should be able to go into the junk food aisle like other skinny people do and still not have.
To be honest, I really hope Coach Creg see this and looks up on my channel and actually knows exactly what I do on my channel. 90% of him is sprinting and thrash metal. Which, I mean, he may not like rock music, but that's okay. Everybody likes different kinds of music. Some people may not like rock, some people may not like rap, and that's the way it is. I like rock and metal, and some people like country, some people like baby music, and it's just something that everybody heck's different like dislikes, you know. See, there's one genre I hate the most: baby music. Sounds like horror music to me.
To worry about gaining 20 pounds.
Well, not everyone can do this. If you have physical limitations, disabilities, you can't go and exercise. Not everyone is physically able to exercise, but yet it's still calories in, calories out. The only difference is your calories out portion, it's going to be significantly diminished. If you can't go to the gym, you can't train, you can't do cardio, you can't walk, you can't do anything, obviously you're going to burn off fewer calories. And so how do you make up for that? Well, let's think about it. It's calories in versus calories out. If you can't get the calories out, don't get the calories in. And so why do you think you just get to eat cookies, chips, and junk food in the junk food aisle? Oh, because everyone else can? Well, you can't. I can't slam dunk. Everyone in the NBA over 7 feet tall can, but I can't. I want to, but just because I want to doesn't mean I get to.
But I don't think skinny people go
all
into this junk food aisle.
They
I think
certainly
Yes,
do.
they do.
They eat a lot of junk food.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what's with the he thing? That hurts my head.
3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat, and so you need to eat 70,000 calories of those cookies and chips in the junk food aisle to gain 20 pounds. And so stop sitting there trying to get everyone to feel sorry for you because you just think you have a slow metabolism. Even if your metabolism is shittier and slower than everyone in the world, you're still gaining that weight by eating too much.
There's a thing called set points.
That's
There's
right.
a ton of research on it.
That's
That your
right.
body likes to be at specific weights. It likes to be in a specific way.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing with that. There's a set point. Everyone wants to be at a certain weight. Perhaps it's 200 pounds. Perhaps for you, it's 300 pounds. But if you, in fact, do more cardio, you walk for an hour, 2 hours a day, whatever, you put on more muscle, you speed up your metabolism and your set point gets lower. It's not going to be as low.
And to be honest with you, when I exercise, I overdo it. Like, I'll be training till this close to passing out. That's how much I train. That's why I run so fast on the road. So I'll be training a lot. You see, I don't train for health. I train to gain something. To gain speed. To gain strength. To gain muscle. Mostly speed. And sprint starts. Sometimes cardio. So.
Someone who's 120 pounds, let's go.
And also, I take pride on it, but I don't have as much pride as I used to, because then that much pride will not take me to heaven, and it'll only take me to hell. So, the Bible says this. It says, too much pride will not inherit the kingdom of God. That means you would not go to heaven. So.
Be lower than when you're 300. We're not saying that everyone
And
should
also,
be skinny.
eat too much, it's a sin called gluttony. Pretty much. Eating too much is a sin called gluttony.
That it's easy, but we are saying that you can do something about it. Just because your body wants to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. Your body wants you to be 300. It wants you to eat more. It's releasing ghrelin saying eat. And when you eat sugar and fat, highly palatable foods, ice cream, and so on, your body wants to eat more of it over and over again. When you're eating fast food, more chemical signals are being sent to the brain saying, keep eating, it's so delicious. But you know what else is true? When you do drugs, when you drink alcohol, when you smoke cigarettes, when you do anything bad, it's very addictive. Just because it's addictive, just because your body wants to do it, doesn't mean you need to give in to the cravings. Just because you smoke cigarettes and you're addicted, doesn't mean you need to keep smoking cigarettes. You can stop. And to the same extent, just because you're eating eating junk food just because you love it doesn't mean you need to keep doing it.
I
You
agree.
can stop.
But I definitely still acknowledge that it was my choice. At the end of the day, when I go there and I look and I see, should I order a second hamburger? I'm the one choosing whether or not I order that second hamburger. I'm the one making that choice.
And so clearly, he's the one choosing the second hamburger. He knows it's a choice. You don't have to do it. It's a choice. Do you not agree with me? The goal of this video is to present the information, and by the end of it, I'm hoping that you'll think, use your logic, and come to the same conclusions as me. If not, I did my best.
I would rather be skinny than fat.
How is this possible? Only 4 out of 9 would rather be skinny than fat. Now listen, being skinny, it's not unhealthy. Science will show. I did.
At Wells
Hey.
Fargo, direct deposits come up to 2 days early
Oh,
with early
15
payday.
seconds.
What if everything
I
came 2
was
days
gonna
early?
breaking
Good
stuff
weekend.
now.
It's Wednesday. It's the weekend, baby.
Want to get paid up to 2 days early? You can with Wells Fargo.
You've probably been there before. You're working out around the clock trying to get ripped, but in the end, you just get weak.
My best.
I would rather be skinny than fat.
How
That's a 50-50.
is this possible? Only 4 out of 9 would rather be skinny than fat. Now listen, being skinny, it's not unhealthy. Science will show that being skinny actually makes you live longer. It's healthier overall. We're not talking about an ED where you're perhaps 65 pounds. We're not talking about that. But in general, being skinny, the opposite of being obese, it's clearly healthier. And so I can't understand how so many people would choose to be obese or morbidly obese than skinny. Why is that?
I know.
Let's hear their answers.
I've got 2 kids and a wife, and I'm taking care of them. And as you pointed out, I definitely think that I'm at less health risks if I'm a skinnier person.
And so clearly this guy makes sense. He's 6'6". He wants to be there for his family. I mean, he'd rather be skinny, clearly.
I'm speaking as someone who actually was a former smaller person. And
I don't like the way she said that. Oh, she said when I'm the person. I'm like, oh, my spirit's like, oh my goodness. I really don't like the way she said that. I really don't like that. I really don't. It makes me feel uncomfortable when she said it like that. It makes me feel uncomfortable, to be honest.
I had the most body insecurities when I was small.
And so she's actually
Yeah, I
making
don't like
sense.
that. I
So
don't
when
like
she
that.
was skinnier, she had
I don't like
insecurities.
that.
Oh my God, I have to be this way. Perhaps she was starving herself. Perhaps she was scared. Oh my God, what if I gain weight? And so for her, it was better to be heavier. And so if you're skinny right now, but you're starving yourself, you're not eating enough, you have a lack of energy, brain fog, you have lower levels of testosterone, you have a lower sex drive, you just don't feel good because you're not eating enough, then perhaps it's better for you to be obese. I'm not saying everyone should be skinny. I'm listening to both sides. I'm trying to be impartial. I'm trying to be honest. And for some people, it's simply healthier for them to be overweight than it is for them to be skinny. And so that is a great point. And remember, if you're experiencing lower levels of testosterone, consider giving G-Test a try from Harder Than Last Time Supplements. You can click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off. Please consider using G-Test.
Another thing too, when I'm out there training for sprint speed improvement to make me faster and stuff, the thing about that is during spring break, when I get out of high school during spring break, well, the last week's Christmas training, I'm gonna be training harder than that week, make myself faster, stronger, and you know the deal. And when I train, I don't make YouTube videos until it's done. So
Science has shown it can increase testosterone up to 200 to 400 nanograms per deciliter. And so, other than changing your diet and eating more, please consider G-Test. Give it a try.
I don't think skinny
and
always
also
works.
when I train, I don't eat cookies and milk. I don't drink sweet tea. I don't do anything that would cause me to be fat. I don't eat none of that or drink none of that for until my training is done. But I don't overeat it even when it's done. But yeah, I don't drink sweet tea. I don't eat cookies and milk. I don't the only thing I eat every morning, every morning I eat cookies and milk, and every night I eat cookies and milk as well. But when I'm out there training, the only thing I'm eating is just a meat stick and water for snack, morning and night, just like my cookies and milk. So, yeah,
Being healthy, I'm 6'5".
during training.
I'm last time I checked, and I'm severely underweight.
And so being skinny does not...
So when I train, I mostly eat meat. At least. Nearly 100% of it.
mean being healthy. If he's 6'5" and 140 pounds, perhaps he's underweight. Perhaps he's not eating enough. There's a happy medium. There's a difference between being morbidly obese and being severely underweight. Somewhere in the middle. It's all about balance.
I guess it depends on what you mean when you think of the term skinny. Are you thinking of just like an average weight person, or are you thinking of how you are now?
I'm the average weight for like women in America.
Does anyone know what the Lulu is slang for? I'm the average weight of a woman in America. Maybe if she's 3'2". Average weight of a woman in America? What are you talking about? See that voice? Where did that come from? Now remember, if she is in fact the average weight of a woman in America, which is, I believe it's somewhere around 180 pounds, is a lot heavier than you would think. But the average woman in America is about 5'3.5". And so if you're 4'3.5" or anything under 5'3.5", it affects how much you're going to weigh. The shorter you are, the less you should weigh. If you're 6'5" and 140 pounds, it's not very heavy. But if you're 5'5" and 140 pounds, it might be perfectly healthy for you. And so she thinks she's the appropriate weight because she...
I'm 5'10", and I weigh 160 something, or close to it, or something.
The average weight, then she's got to
It fluctuates from 159 to 160 or something.
learn harder than last time. Listen, the average weight of an American in the United
Sometimes 161, depending on how much I eat or something.
States, it's not healthy. The average man I saw the other day, 28% body fat. The average female, 40%. This is obese. And so the average person
And 90% of my weight is basically muscle. Some of it's fat, but most of it's muscle.
in America is obese. And so if your weight is average, you are overweight. There's no way that this is the average body fat percentage of a woman in America. She's clearly above 50% body fat. This is not healthy.
There is such a
This is for jobless Americans. I've been telling you guys for months to claim this free $6,400.
gap between, one, the research, because the research has a huge fat-phobic bias in it.
And so she's trying to say that studies are biased, they're fat-phobic, that they just want to make it look like obesity is so bad. Well, the woman in the red dress, she points out, BMI is height to weight. Bodybuilders are taken into account. And so according to the BMI chart, I've been obese for all these years. I have under 10% body fat. I'm obese. Why? Because I have a lot of muscle. And so when you do these studies and it says, oh, BMI, it does this, does that, that's counting all the bodybuilders. And so let's eliminate the people who are obese in the BMI chart because of the muscle that they have.
That they equated for that mistake, and it shows, oh my goodness, being fat is actually extremely unhealthy, like way more unhealthy than we ever realized.
Turns out it's even worse.
And also, being fat can also develop diabetes.
If you're obese because your body fat is very high, very different than if you're obese because you have a lot of muscle. And so if you are obese, it most certainly is, in fact, shortening your life. Increased likelihood of obesity, high blood pressure, cancer, heart disease, everything. And so if you are trying to lose weight, one of the best supplements you can get is GO2 Max. It improves your cardio, your endurance. It gives you more energy so that you can go out and burn more calories. Calories out. You move more, you walk more, you train more. And it's not just for elite level runners, it's for couch potatoes as well. No matter who you are, if you take GO2 Max with the main ingredient being NMN, you may experience extreme benefits for your overall cardiovascular well-being. Interested in GO2 Max or any of the protein bars, anything, head over to the website,